Hi, in this video I would like to show you the triumph of the Jihad indoctrination in the Middle East. Indoctrination is of course a formation of a belief, and one thing interesting about it is that it doesn't have to make sense. The belief comes first and the justification for it comes later. The goal of Jihad is to get children indoctrinated before their brain develops the ability to evaluate. A very large group of Muslim children learn to hate Israel and the Jews at a very young age before their ability to ask why. Later, the excuses change from one to another, but the belief that Israel and the Jews are evil remains consistent. It is natural for an outside observer to wonder why so many Muslims hate Israel and the Jews. We naturally want to know what is the reason behind this hatred. We want to know, what did Israel do, or the Jews, do so bad that they would be hated for centuries upon centuries? A social media participant once wrote the following comment: "When I suffer negative consequences, my parents tell me to think about what I did to deserve it." Maybe the Jews have to do the same. The problem with this comment is that it tries to rationalize something irrational. Something interesting about our human brain is that it works like an internal gyroscope or a seesaw. It consistently seeks to understand incoming information in order to establish a state of balance or equilibrium between the two hemispheres of the brain. If we don't understand something, the internal gyroscope in the brain gets out of balance, and we then feel much unwanted anxiety. When the two hemispheres are in balance, we feel at peace. When we can't make sense out of something, like the jihad ideology, and we don't find the answers for it because there aren't any, we make things up in order to achieve equilibrium. And this is exactly what the promoters of the jihad ideology are counting on. For the Muslim indoctrinated child, the internal gyroscope is said to feel at peace when hating Israel and the Jews. Later on, the mere questioning of the hatred gets the indoctrinated person out of equilibrium and into anxiety. I was recently in Israel, and as I was walking in Hechalut Street in Haifa, a mother and child were walking towards me. On the surface, there was nothing unusual about it. The mother was holding a phone next to her ear with one hand, and a young child with the other hand. The unusual part was that the child was wearing a black t-shirt with a large white image of an M16 rifle on it. I was startled. As soon as I got home, I looked up the t-shirt with the image, and the images started pouring in. I also wanted to understand why they chose the M16 rifle to represent their jihad ideology. I found out that parts of the M16 rifle are made out of aluminum and plastic, which makes the rifle light. It means that a child can use it. It is also very tolerant to mud and dirt, which makes it even more suitable for children use. You can see here the triumph of the indoctrination that even overpowers the natural instincts of parents to protect their children at any cost. Indoctrinated parents teach their children to hate because they love them. Those parents want their children to blow themselves up because they love them. According to jihad indoctrinated mothers, every mother should have at least one child sacrificed for the sake of expanding Islam in the world. There is nothing more precious to them than Islam, not even their own children. In their own words, there is nothing more important than bringing all people on earth back home to Allah, because only then, when all people are Muslim, there would be peace and harmony on earth. Starting in the cradle and progressing into the educational system, youngsters who blew themselves up as suicide bombers are presented to children at school as heroes in classrooms and textbooks. The children chant and sing songs about their wish to die for the jihad cause, and they seek social acceptance based on this teaching. For them to become a suicide bomber is not necessarily a religious mission, but it is a way to becoming socially popular. The boys on the bottom of this slide state and chant their wish to become jihad warriors, and the little girl on the bottom left demonstrate on Muslim TV how to stab a Jew. To the right of the slide, Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, said, "Every martyr will reach paradise, and everyone wounded will be rewarded by Allah." And he also said, "We bless every drop of blood that has been spilled, which is clean and pure blood." Be advised that the target is not only to eliminate the Jews, but that the Jews are an easy target to start with, since the hatred toward the Jews has already been established by the creators of Christianity and has been in existence ever since. If you listen to jihad influencers talk, they very often want their followers to remember a place in Saudi Arabia called Hudaybiyah, where the Jews refused to convert to Islam and therefore were slaughtered. You might think that this event happened too long ago to have any current influence. But when a representative of the Free Palestine movement was recently asked, "What would you do with the Jews if you managed to convert Israel into a Muslim country?" her response was that the Jews will have to convert or die, as was in Hudaybiyah. In other words, in order to create peace and harmony, you first have to eliminate anybody who doesn't think like you. The bottom line is that the so-called Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a one-sided jihad war dedicated to advancing Islam in the world. Unless we understand the jihad ideology and how it manifests itself in reality, we cannot understand the dynamics in the Middle East. We might win the wars against Muslim terrorists in Jenin, Gaza, Al-Aqsa, etc. But at the same time, we are losing the battle, which is the ideological battle. As of today, hundreds of thousands of Jews were expelled from Muslim countries. There are no significant Jewish communities in almost all Muslim countries. But even without the Jews, those Muslim countries fail miserably to establish peace and harmony as expected. Most, if not all, Muslim countries are at war within themselves, either between the two main sects, between the ethnic groups within the sects, or between the tribes within the ethnic groups. Some countries, such as Lebanon and Yemen, for example, are totally obliterated due to internal wars that have nothing to do with the Jews. What I want you to take from this video is that there is no logical justification for the indoctrination of the Jihad ideology to hate Israel and the Jews. That once you try to justify it, you become a part of it. You become a Jihad warrior, whether you mean it or not. If you didn't know, now you know. Bye.